Hey now guys, sorry about this. It's been quite a while since I did a Doom review. A lot of things have been happening these past 2 months, mainly school. As you all know, I got a math class, probably my weakest subject. I've been studying like crazy trying to remember all these formulas and orders of operations. It's a real drag, but you guys could go ahead and hear my whining in another video series, Struggling with Math 125. Anyway, on to the review. The Gameboy Advance is one of the most successful portable game consoles to ever exist. It sold over 81 million units worldwide. And with hardware comparable to the SNES, it's no surprise that Doom would eventually make it over to Nintendo's handheld. Developed by David A. Palmer Productions and published by Activision, Doom on the Game Boy Advance was released in October 2001. I don't know the exact date, so don't ask, and I didn't even bother looking it up. It was just sometime in October. Anyway, as far as I know, this is the only portable ever to receive an official release of Doom. And with a screen so small, one would expect so many sacrifices on a port like this. Well, there is, but not as many as you would think. All the graphics had to be downscaled to fit the Game Boy Advance's 240 by 160 resolution, making things look very pixelated. And just like the SNES, distinct objects are hard to see. The same thing happened to me here that happened to me on the SNES version. I was actually shooting at power-ups thinking that they were enemies. Only on the Nintendo console do I tend to mess up like that. What was it? Oh yeah. Color is a bit more vibrant than I was expecting. This is due to the original Game Boy Advance's dark screen. They make things brighter so it's possible to actually see what's on there. This version pretty much shares the same textures as the 32X and Jaguar ports, which means that the missing textures will make the levels look bland pretty quickly. They probably did this to save the space on the cartridge. However, another thing that is missing is all the gory images and mutilated prisoners and the piles of blood and guts on the floor. Now come on! Are they really going to have a Doom game without the blood and guts associated with it? Honestly, this was to be expected. It's on a Nintendo system after all, and I guess Activision was trying to aim for a T rating to avoid any reprisals from the big end. Hell, they even got all the blood to go green. Green blood, however, isn't really a big deal. One big plus is the fact that this port retains most of, if not all, the animation from the PC. Enemies are able to turn around and retaliate against friendly fire, which means, you got it, monster infighting. Oh man, how I love doing that so much. Nothing beats the sight of watching an imp and a pinky demon going at it over a fireball gone astray. Music has been done with the GBA's dual 8-bit DAC audio capabilities. I have no idea what I just said. If anything, it's just that the music sounds different in this version. It's not up to par with the SNES version. However, it is leagues better than the 32X port. From what I know, all the music is here minus 2 tracks. Also, the tracks have been rearranged, which I don't think is too bad. However, longtime Doom fans may find this annoying, especially if they start to think that the Hell's Gate theme song is missing from this port. Controls are responsive with no delay. There is a setback though. With the limited buttons available, button mapping had to be adjusted. Run and open are set to B while A is to fire. L and R are to strafe left and right respectively. Now, that is fine, but my biggest gripe is the method of selecting your weapons. You have to hold L and R and press up and down, and I can't really dock points from it due to the GBA only have 4 buttons, but it does get annoying and can cost you your life if you have to change your gun in the middle of a battle. There have been several times where I'm holding a rocket launcher in a tight quarters and only for a demon to pop out in front of me, and of course using a weapon like that up close will result in me dying. Gameplay is solid and plays at a constant 30 frames per second and only dips below 25 when there's an insane amount of enemies on screen. It's a hell of a lot better than the Saturn version though. I'm actually pretty surprised that this little device is able to pull off Doom's fast and frantic pace so well. However, just like the 32X and Jaguar port, it is missing both the Cyber Demon and the Spider Mastermind, so don't expect to see any boss fights. In the end, I gave this version a B. I'm being pretty soft on this grade, mostly due to the limitations of the GBA. David A. Palmer Productions really put care into this board, making sure that it stays true to the original as much as possible. This version definitely would have gotten an A if it wasn't for the missing gore and bosses. But in the end, it totally pulls Doom off. It's worthy of anyone's GBA collection and a good port. I do have to point out that you may have to change the save battery once you get your hands on one. They tend to die pretty quickly, and the copy I got was already dead. Anyway, this was David from Calling All Gamers, telling you thank you. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. And like always, have a good one.